Napoleon Bonaparte is one of history's most famous military leaders and political figures. Born on August 15, 1769, on the island of Corsica, Napoleon came from a modest family with noble Italian roots. He attended military school in France, where he showed great promise as a tactician and strategist. By 1793, during the French Revolution, Napoleon had already made a name for himself as a brilliant young officer. He rose rapidly through the ranks of the French military, thanks to his victories and his political connections. In 1799, Napoleon staged a coup d'état, overthrowing the French government and establishing himself as first consul of France. This marked the beginning of his rise to power. Just 5 years later, in 1804, he crowned himself Emperor of the French, solidifying his control over the country. Napoleon's ambition didn't stop there. Over the next decade, he led France into a series of wars that became known as the Napoleonic Wars. He sought to expand his empire across Europe, defeating major powers like Austria, Prussia, and Russia in battles that cemented his reputation as a military genius. One of his most famous victories was the Battle of Austerlitz in 1805, where he outmaneuvered a larger combined force of Russian and Austrian troops. Napoleon's use of fast-moving, flexible troops and his ability to read the battlefield were revolutionary for his time. At the height of his power, Napoleon controlled most of Western Europe, either through conquest or alliances. But his downfall came just as swiftly as his rise. In 1812, he made a critical error by invading Russia. His army was unprepared for the harsh winter and supply issues, leading to a disastrous retreat. This marked the beginning of the end for Napoleon. In 1814, a coalition of European powers defeated him, and he was forced to abdicate the throne. He was exiled to the island of Elba, but in 1815, Napoleon made a dramatic return to France, reclaiming the throne in what became known as the 100 Days. However, his second reign was short-lived. Later that year, he faced the British and Prussian armies at the Battle of Waterloo, where he suffered a crushing defeat. After his final loss at Waterloo, Napoleon was captured and exiled to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. There, he lived out the remaining 6 years of his life in captivity, dying on May 5, 1821, at the age of 51. Despite his downfall, Napoleon's legacy is immense. He modernized France's legal system with the Napoleonic Code, which influenced laws across Europe and the world. His military strategies are still studied in military academies today, and his ambition changed the map of Europe. Napoleon Bonaparte remains one of the most iconic figures in history, remembered both for his brilliance on the battlefield and the lasting impact he had on Europe.